Yeah, I got the random number generator. How do you get it on? Oh, there it is. I see it. We're live.
We're live. We're inexperienced.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
I can see me. That means we're live. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yeah, I got the random generator.
All right.
Hey. You're live.
Look at that.
Look at that.
All right. Welcome everybody to the T350 show.
Less Jimmy Wiggins.
Yeah, we're minus Jimmy today. He's in the blizzard right now trying to hunt some deer. So you're stuck with me today.
Hopefully the power will stay on.
Yeah, hopefully the power will stay on today. We've had about 6 power outages today.
It's snowing.
And a few flickers on top of that. So if we cut out randomly, chalk it up to power failure. Got some people coming in. You can see the comments, so I gotta watch one. All right.
So I'll have to tell them.
All right.
We got a drawing today.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited about the drawing today.
I bet. Is it it's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, we're actually gonna do 2.
2.
Yeah, because we got a bunch of people that liked it, but they didn't comment, so they didn't get it. So we'll do a separate prize. We gotta think of what that should be.
Okay.
Because they can't hear my side of the conversation, so you have to repeat what I say.
All right. Andy's saying there's 2 giveaways today, not just one.
One's the big one.
One's the big one, which is the rifle kit, right?
Yep.
And then
What's the other one gonna be?
I don't know. That's what right. We got to figure out what the second prize is going to be. Don't know. I couldn't get that computer to work either, so.
Because the power went out. I just turned it back on.
Yeah.
So Jim's
Anyway.
out hunting. He sent a picture. I don't know that we posted the picture.
It was in the morning email. I don't think it went out on the socials.
So Jim ready
Yeah.
to hunt.
Yeah. He looked about as warm as he could be. Dressed in orange camo with his, I believe he had his newly built rifle out there. I don't know if it's...
I thought he had his
I'm not a hunting expert. I don't know if he's got if it's rifle season, shotgun. I don't know what gun he used.
350 Legend.
Okay, he had his new gun that he just finished building, the 350 Legend. So, have we built enough time, you think? Should we
Oh yeah.
jump on in?
Yeah.
People are asking if Jim got a buck. We haven't heard anything, so
Well, they can't see the comments.
I would say not yet, because I'm sure we would know. Oh, there he is, Jim. In the blind now. He must be watching. Hopefully I don't botch it. He'll butcher me on when he comes back.
Yeah, I can see the comments.
Well, I can get him. I can see him here.
Who's that about?
All right. Well, I guess we better get started. We've got some people watching. Spend a little time waiting. So last week, I believe Jim talked scopes, lasers, sighting in, scopes, you know, the quick and easy way, using like a bore laser or something like that without using ammo. So that's key in this day and age, you know, with ammo being so expensive. But this week we're going to dive into AR10 builds and the different platforms you can use to build an AR10. You know, if you don't want to just go right out and buy one, there are options you can build them, just like an AR-15. However, there's a lot more you got to kind of pay attention to. It's not all, you know, mil spec. Everybody talks to each other. All the parts intermingle. There's certain things you kind of got to watch for. So I'm going to dive into some of that. I got kind of a little assortment of AR-15 stuff. Some of my personal AR-10 stuff that I'm starting to build. And we'll see compatibility between platforms, you know, what route I took from the research that I did. You know, I'm not the world's most educated AR-10 builder, so, you know, throw a comment down if I'm messing something up and we can chat about it. So, I think we'll start with the 2 main types or main platforms you can go with building an AR-10. First off, you're gonna, I guess, with any Google search on AR-10 build, where do I start? you're going to see Armalite and DPMS thrown around all over the place. So the main distinguisher between that is this is an Armalite, and what you're going to look at is this back area here. You see how it's a straight line with the two radiuses? That's your main distinguisher between a DPMS and an Armalite lower. The route I took is a DPMS, and as you can see, it's a full radius in here, similar to what an AR-15 would have. So, as you can see, AR-15, AR-10, it's pretty similar, just AR-10 much bigger. Now, don't let that fool you. Not a lot of the parts work together, so here's where we get into some nitty-gritties. Within DPMS, you have Gen 1 and Gen 2. Now, my recommendation, if you're going to build an AR-10 with a DPMS style, you go Gen 1, because Gen 2 is going to have very little to, if any, aftermarket or, handguard availability, stuff like that. There's not a whole lot out there. Gen 1, however, you've got a lot of options, and you've also got the compatibility with some AR-15 parts. So, Gen 1, a lot of parts available. Gen 2 is, the main difference is it's shorter in overall length. So you're going to have an AR-10 that's shorter this way, which means you need a special bolt carrier, which means you need special this, special that, so hence why not a whole lot of parts available. Now, within Gen 1, there's another subcategory. So here's where we get even more complicated. So Gen 1 DPMS, which is what this stuff is for. Moving on to the upper, you're going to see DPMS high tang and low tang. Now all that means is the height from the center line of the bore to the top face of the Picatinny. And what they mean by tang is this section right here. So if you were to measure this section thickness, this is a DPMS high tang, so it's going to be 3/16 of an inch, whereas a low tang is just going to be this face a little lower, and it'll measure about an 1/8 inch, or it'll be a little, not a whole lot shorter, so they're visually pretty much the same, but when you go to get a handguard, it's going to matter, because you want your Picatinny rail to line up. So there's your two differences with that. So, as you can see, AR-10, much more complicated, but it's not impossible. You just got to keep track of what route you're going, what parts you've got, what's going to work and whatnot. So, those are your categories. I'm looking at my notes, making sure I don't miss anything outrageous. I think I'm good. So, compatibility wise, can you use AR-15 parts on an AR-10? Yes and no. Stuff like barrels, clearly you're going to have to do an AR-10 style barrel. It's got a much bigger diameter where it meets the upper. It's going to have a larger barrel nut. You're going to have a different thread on the end of your barrel. You're almost always going to have I'm going to botch this, I think it's 5/8 24 versus a 1/2 28. I think I got that right. Cool. So stuff like that is AR-10 specific. Things like scopes, anything can mix and match. This rail is exactly the same as an AR-15 rail. There's just, length differences, but both exactly the same rail. So any AR-15 scope you've got laying around from another build, you can slap on here to get yourself going. Or you can go crazy and get like full long range, you won't even know what hit you scope, which is what I have done, because my goal is distance with this gun. Also, bolt carriers, they look exactly the same. This one's shiny, but they are not the same length, obviously. Much bigger, beefier, but they function, you know, exactly the same. So as far as bolt carriers are concerned, just about anything on the market right now is compatible with DPMS, and a lot of them will term it as LR308, which is long rifle 308. They all work with the DPMS Gen 1 uppers. So that's all you got to concern yourself with there. And a lot of them, like Fail Zero is a really good company. You can talk to their customer service, and even on all their descriptions it shows what uppers it's compatible with. So if you're in doubt, ask the people that make it. They're going to know best. What's Jimmy saying? Buy matched sets when you can. Very good point. This is a matched set. So what Jimmy is talking about is when you can, buy a lower and an upper from the same company together, sold together as a matched set. So this is maybe a little on the fancier end. This is a full billet 7075 matched set from Juggernaut Tactical. I went with the 80% lower option just to avoid paperwork and, you know, FFL, transfer fees, all that hoopla. I also work in a machine shop, so that's convenient. But yeah, so it saves you a little bit of money to go with the 80% lower. But however, you're going to have to buy a jig if you don't have readable accessibility to machine tools and such. Need a 6.5 Grendel upper. There you go. This is actually a 6.5 Creedmoor barrel, so that's the caliber I'm going with as well. Can't go wrong with Grendel Hunter. True fact. We make a lot of parts for them, and they're all really nice. So, charging handle again. The bolt carrier is longer, so AR-10 specific charging handle. It's just longer. That's about all the difference is with that. Now, little nitty-gritty stuff like grips, some lower parts kits. Those will all work with either an AR-15 or an AR-10 because they are the same width both ways, and the two pinholes for the trigger and the safety go in the same spot. So you can get stuff there. They do make specific AR-10 lower parts kits, but you can get away with it. Grips, same scenario. Fits on a AR-15 lower. Fits right on an AR-10 lower. So grips, no problem. Now that's with the DPMS Gen 1s. I'm no perfect expert on the Armalite. This picture I'm looking at, it looks pretty much exactly the same, so I would say probably a safe bet that that's going to work for you. I don't know. Got another question. Is Creedmoor the longest range for an AR-10 platform, or is there one for longer range in the AR-10 platform? If you're shooting for long range, either 308 or 6.5 Creedmoor is going to be your best bet. I chose 6.5 Creedmoor because it's a smaller diameter bullet, and it's actually a little bit longer than the 308. So with that, you know, there's a lot of science behind it, but it boils down to 6.5 Creedmoor is slightly more stable in flight through long range than 308. There's arguments on both sides. I chose 6.5. You're not going to be, you know, you're not going to not hit anything with 308. It's not like 6.5's world's difference. But to me, 6.5 made a little more sense for the range and the kind of stuff that I'm going to do with this rifle. I think we got more questions. Thinking of H3 buffer and adjustable gas block with a suppressor or brake. Am I personally thinking of a suppressor? That'd be pretty cool, but this has already cost me a lot of money, so I think I'm going to get it done, and then maybe, sort of, probably not. It'll probably just be a regular brake. Boss has a DPMS AR-10. Nice. All good places to start, says Jim, about the H3 buffer. What would you recommend for taking the stink off an AR-10? I'm assuming by stink you mean the insane blowback or shoulder pains you can get from an AR-10 versus an AR-15. The best thing you can do for that is either A, suppress, or B, have a really good muzzle brake. Then, if you're looking for cheap options, wrap your buttstock in a rag, cut up a yoga mat. Those are cheap, easy options, but if you want it to perform really well, really good muzzle brake will help a lot with the kick. Even on an AR-15, like I've shot some of my friends' AR-15s that just have basic A2 brakes on them, versus mine that's got a Grendel Hunter brake on it. Mine shoots way more stable, way less kick. So, same thing with an AR-10. You're not going to get rid of all of it because the bullet's literally like monumentally bigger, I would argue. So, you're not going to take it all away, but a really good brake, a suppressor, or padding up your buttstock is going to be your best bet. Thanks, Jesse. I missed anything? Look to tone it down. Alright, I think I'm caught up on questions in the comments. Alright, what else do I got? If I missed anything, anybody, we got questions?
I don't know, you went through all your... How long did
What am I
it take
missing?
you to acquire all this stuff?
How long did it take me to acquire everything? So I've been piecing this together. All of this came from pre-COVID panic, I would say. So I didn't have any availability problems when purchasing this, except for the scope. So the first thing I got was the match set. That way I could, double check my tang before I, went any further with that, or measure a few things on my AR-15 to make sure that everything I was reading online was true, that I could use, lower parts for this and a grip would fit for that and stuff like that. Waited a while for this barrel. It's a really nice Faxon Precision Firearms 6.5 Creedmoor barrel. This is a, oh god, it's been so long since I bought it. I think it's a 22-inch barrel. And this big dog is a Vortex Viper PST Gen 2 5-25 50 mil rifle scope. Really, really, really nice piece. Waited like 4 months for that to come. But it's finally here, so it's inspired me to get the last few little bits. I've got some more stuff in the box. Like I've got all my little like miscellaneous parts, lower parts kit, safety selector, mag release, all that little stuff. Last big things I need are buffer spring and tube, stock, handguard, and a muzzle brake. And then I'll be ready to get it coated and put it all together. So maybe you'll see that on a future episode of the T350 show. I'm sure. Yeah, once I get it done. Alright, should we move on to the drawings?
Yeah, you got your random number generator?
I do. You got that?
1 to 51.
1 to 51.
Do we need a drum roll or something?
I can make one here, I guess. 1 to 51. Ready?
No.
Generate.
He usually does it 3 times.
Generate. Generate. Number 20. What do we got?
Danny Goodrum Jr., I think it is. It's either Danny Goodrum Jr. or Senior.
Number 20. Danny Goodrum. There's a comma there, so it might be a junior or something. But our number 20 is Danny Goodrum. So we'll make sure we write that down. He won the big dog, right? The rifle kit? I can. Yeah, I will forget. Danny Goodrum. Rifle kit. And then we're doing another one, right? For a mini prize.
Angled foregrip or a micro hand stop.
All right. So Andy has confirmed the next prize will be between.
Pick between. You're going to do the 77?
Yeah. I don't know why I reset it. Andy says you can pick between an angled foregrip and a micro hand stop for the next prize I'm about to generate. Are you ready? 3 times. Generate. 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 Number 72. Towards the end of the list. That is Neil Myatt. M-Y-A-T-T. Myatt. Neil Myatt. Didn't go to school for English. Sorry, I don't know how to say stuff. All right.
So those guys can private message and can send us a message with their info.
All right. So those 2 guys that we mentioned can direct message us with some info, and we'll get the ball rolling on that.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Happy Black Friday.
Yeah. Happy Black Friday to you guys. All right. And our deal of the week this week, I don't know if I even mentioned that at the beginning. Yeah. Deal of the week this week. Yeah. Since we're talking AR-10s, we're going to do $10 off any AR-10 handguard or muzzle brake or flash can. So any of those 3 items, $10 off for this deal of the week.
That's live now.
And that is live now. So as soon as this broadcast ends, head on over to the website. Get yourself a handguard, a muzzle brake, or a flash can.
Jesse's got a question.
Oh no, questions. I always get nervous with the questions because I don't know if I know or not. Question, what is the 2 different AR-10 setups? The 2 different AR-10 setups are either A, Armalite, or B, DPMS. Difference being, the telltale sign you can tell the difference. This is an Armalite. See, we've got the straight line versus the full radius here on this one. There we go. So see the difference there? An Armalite's always going to have this straight area, whereas a DPMS is going to have a radius. As far as the aftermarket is concerned, if you're building a rifle, I would suggest DPMS. I've seen a lot more availability with DPMS versus the Armalite platform. But hey, as long as you get a matched set in the Armalite platform, I would say you are set to go. Because they're going to have the same height profile as the high tang DPMS, I believe.
Another question.
Another one? I am just getting loaded with questions. I have an LR308 DPMS Davidson, or I'm going to assume he said Daniel Defense, unless it is Davidson Defense. I need help finding a matched lower. Thank you. So.
Sounds like a good project for Jimmy when he gets back.
Yeah. If you can't find it right on Davidson Defense, then my suggestion would be just search DPMS AR10 lower, and that will get you a bunch of different results. I might go on a limb here and say that just about all DPMS lowers are more so created equal. I don't want to really say that with a whole lot of certainty, but your best bet would be to find the same brand lower as your upper, and that's going to be as close a guarantee as you could probably get to having that match without any problems. The problems you might run into is sometimes on some lowers these the 2 pinholes aren't the same diameter as an upper, so that's why Jim in the beginning was saying always try and find a matched set when you go to buy them. That saves a lot of the headache with that. Okay, so you said it is Davidson, so yeah, if you could find a Davidson Defense lower, that's your best bet for success there. or even talk to those guys. Maybe they've probably got the specs on the pin. I always forget the technical name on them, but the mounting the 2 pins, they'll probably have that diameter for you, and you could go that route if you wanted.
All right.
Yeah. Reason he says, "Thank you, sir. The reason I didn't want to match lower is an 80%." Right. You'll have that sometimes. Sometimes there's not a whole lot of match sets that are fully machined already, so sometimes that's just the market. But
Makes sense.
all right. I think I'm good on the questions. If I missed anything, I'm sure we'll be answering them later on. So, all right. What do we got next week?
Next week, I think Jimmy's hunting.
Oh yeah.
Jimmy Hunt stories.
Yeah, Jimmy's back next week, so I'm sure you'll hear all about his hunting success or fail there. Or so we'll find out next week on Tuesday if he comes in on the camera like, he didn't get one. But if he's all jeery, then I think we can assume he got a deer. So, alrighty, everybody. I think that's it. And remember, you don't have to be an expert to build your own AR. We are here to help. Hope I answered everybody's questions. If not, I'm sure we'll be in the comments. So.